Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We cover everything Major League, from spring training to the World Series. We've got your favorite club covered, from New York to Boston to LA. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, where we recap the news of Major League Baseball in the week. As always, I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Ben.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. You know, I don't work on Thursdays, so I always look forward to Thursdays because I can come in. It's like I don't want to say a little more casual, but a little more relaxed when I do the Thursday shows as opposed to the Tuesday shows, because I don't have to go anywhere after unless I obviously have something planned, which most of the time I don't. So it's a lot more relaxed, so I can sort of, like, I don't know, breathe easier. I don't know if that's the word, but it's a lot more relaxed than Tuesdays, because on Tuesdays after I leave here at the studio, I have to go straight to work. So
yeah, I have to do that today actually. And actually, no, I have to do that practically every time I'm here. I always have somewhere I need to go to after I do all my shows. So technically, I'm on this no days off type of thing. Always work, man. Always work.
All work and no play.
Yeah, man. My motto is, work hard, party later. But you know what? I ain't trying to get all into that. So we got a lot of things to talk about for you guys before you guys enjoy your weekend. We're going to talk about the San Francisco Giants, who have the best record in the majors right now. Yes. And we're going to get into some news of the batting titles being named after some legends, that was announced earlier this week. We're going to talk about our top prospects in the minors right now, and Yu Darvish returning to the Texas Rangers rotations on Saturday.
Hopefully it'll be a lengthy return instead of what he's been doing recently. So.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I hope so too. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hard. It's a little hard because we are at the All-Star break here in MLB. So, like, literally there's no games going on.
This was the slowest week in sports ever. I'm telling you right now. And not just baseball, and sports. Yeah,
so games will be starting up again tomorrow. We have series starting for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they get a nice little 5-day break in between which in baseball is a lot. Usually if you have
that's like a whole week basically right there.
That's like a month almost, because if you have, here's why I say that, because in baseball, if you have like average a month, I'm gonna say 30 days, you're playing maybe 26, 27 days a month. You only have a few days in between where you're not in a game, so that's like almost a whole month in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but anyways, we're going to jump in here with the San Francisco Giants. As Jeremiah mentioned, they do have MLB's best record currently. Since they're the best record, they're currently in first place there in the National League West, sitting at 57-33. They have a 6.5 game lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are at 51-40 and second in the NL West. Jeremiah, they're having a great season. Coincidence because it's an even year, or is it just that they're having a good season?
A little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. Because you guys remember what the front office did this offseason. Getting Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija to boost that rotation.
Yeah, getting them as free agents.
Because before, even when they won the World Series in 2014, they didn't have anybody to pitch behind Madison Bumgarner. It was basically Bumgarner's championship in the World Series. He had that 5-inning save, Game 7, and then which was on 3 days rest. So he was So he was an MVP of that team that year and that series too.
Yeah, he was the World Series MVP.
Yeah, deservedly so. But I do have a little, stat for you guys according to LAF Sports. The Giants are 45-15, which is tied for the best 55-game stretch since moving to San Francisco in 1962. So yeah,
It's the best stretch for the team.
For the franchise, yes.
Okay, that's a you look at the Giants, a historic franchise. They've won 3 World Series in the last 6 years, so that's really, really impressive.
Yes, very impressive year. So it just happened to be even year into having this really phenomenal year as well. So.
Yeah, you mentioned the pitching. That's definitely been their strong suit. The thing I find crazy about the Giants is that they're doing this with a number of injuries. Right fielder,
yes.
Right fielder Hunter Pence is out. Joe Panik is out. Matt Duffy's out, and yet they're still doing it. They've gotten great things from Brandon Belt at first base. He was just voted in.
Crawford, you can't forget about Brandon Crawford there.
Brandon Crawford, you could maybe say he's kind of a dark horse MVP candidate right now.
He's kind of like the unsung hero of that team.
Because we all know what Brandon Crawford's capable of at shortstop on a fielding, on a defensive. He's a Gold Glove winner, but he has 61 RBIs.
Yes, he's having a quietly good year. Yes.
He's also hitting 281 for the team. Brandon Belt does lead them. He's hitting 302. They're not really doing it with the long ball. Buster Posey does lead the team with only 11 home runs. That's not really a huge statistic. AT&T Park in San Francisco is more of a pitcher's ballpark as opposed to a hitter's ballpark, so they do have that sort of going against them. But the Giants are doing it really with pitching and then opportune hitting, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're Bruce Bochy, he's definitely knows how to manage his team. He knows it. He knows how to put guys in certain situations. He knows he knows how to shuffle the lineups and all that too, especially when he has guys out. And they just have good depth. Good depth.
Yeah, definitely good depth. You mentioned we mentioned all those injuries they have, but yet they really haven't missed a beat. And you have to think when people like Panik and Hunter Pence come back, also Matt Duffy, they can really sort of build on what they're doing, and they have those rotational guys who have stepped up, and they can really sort of rotate them in more as opposed to they're starting now for the injured players. But they can rotate them in more and feel a little more comfortable because they have that experience behind them. So, I mean, that definitely plays to the Giants' favor. I mean, when you have just great experience. You mentioned Bochy, he's won 3 World Series now. You have Bumgarner and Posey also winning 3 World Series.
And they're only in their mid-20s too.
So you have that leadership to sort of play on. They are having, I'd say, somewhat of some luck involved there with other teams doing not so well. The Cubs have really taken a hit lately, especially Jake Arrieta's taken a hit lately. So they're sort of falling back there. The Mets were sort of looked at as a team that maybe going into the season were going to be maybe the NL favorite, but they've had a lot of injuries as well. So they are getting some luck there from other teams sort of falling out of the race, but the Giants are definitely getting it done.
Yes, but the thing is, though, I know on the standings they're the best team in baseball, but are they the best team in baseball?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's hard. I think it's hard to say.
It's hard to say because you can't disregard the Cubs, who probably have the best dangerous lineup in the majors and arguably the best rotation. And the Nationals, they also have a really, really good rotation and a deep lineup. So compare them to those teams. Yeah, it's hard to see that right now. But I think once the Giants get fully healthy, they get their guys like Panik, Matt Duffy, full strength. And they get Hunter Pence back, I think, later this month.
Yeah, he's definitely on. He had that torn ligament. He's definitely missed more time. He's definitely climbed over the mountain, is on the downward time of his time on the DL. So he should be back hopefully sooner than obviously later. So
yeah. So if they get their whole lineup healthy, when it comes time for September and October to make that possible World Series run, sky's the limit for this team. So, yeah.
You mentioned, are they the best team in baseball? And we both said it's kind of hard to say. I think when I look at the Giants, the one thing I do like for them is that they're obviously going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
They really have a...
You can't... Yeah, they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, they really have a hold on this division. I don't see the Dodgers challenging them, especially if Kershaw's going to be out longer than expected with his back injury. He's already on the DL. So I think when you look at the Giants, the one thing... This is an interesting stat that Bruce Bochy has never lost a playoff series.
No.
So he
never
never lost a playoff series.
I remember that 2012 year when they faced elimination for 2 straight series. Remember that?
And then came back.
And they came back. Yeah. That was a record, too, for winning the most elimination games.
So they do have that experience with Bochy. Yeah. They have the experience with the players. Madison Bumgarner in the World Series has an ERA under 1. for his career in the World Series. So he's definitely clutch time, a leader. He can definitely get it done. So when it gets to the playoffs, I think they're going to be there. They'll probably play a wild card team if they stay with this hot pace with the best record. They'll play a wild card team. So maybe a team, maybe like the Dodgers, they stick around. The Mets, the Marlins are maybe there. Cardinals, we'll have to wait and see. We still have half a season to go.
But looking at this rotation now, I think they have probably the best 1-2-3 punch out of all the National League playoff teams right now as we see, because let's just say that the Giants happen to like falter a little bit and have to play in the wild card. You got Bumgarner, but for that other game 1 against
then you go with Cueto and Samardzija.
Exactly, you're going to be fine. You can possibly maybe pitch in Bumgarner for the third game, and there you go. That's 3-0 series right there. So they're going to be in good shape no matter what happens. But I still can't say that they're the best team in baseball because it's still too early to say that right now.
I agree. I think one thing also that benefits the Giants is the NL West is not very strong. You have Colorado, San Diego, and Arizona all with losing records. Just the teams are going to be playing most often. And the Dodgers, without Kershaw, they're not really as strong of a team. The one thing I do think that the Giants, if they do have a flaw, is their bullpen. Their bullpen, I think, is really...
But I do think they're going to be buyers in the trade deadline. They're going to be for that bullpen a little bit.
Yeah, their bullpen, as it stands right now, is not really the best. I'm not really sold on Santiago Casilla as a closer.
I never have. I've never been sold on him as a closer.
He's blown a number of saves so far this year. He's really
Romo
up and down. Sergio Romo just came back from he just came back from the DL. He looks like he will hopefully move into that setup role again and be okay for the Giants.
So yeah, I can see them definitely being buyers, later this month. I see them beefing up that bullpen because this bullpen was a problem earlier this season before they went on this tremendous run. I can probably see them adding another bat in this lineup. Not a huge power guy, but a productive bat because the Giants have never really been a power hitting team.
No.
Since
Barry Bonds has been gone.
Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent, since those guys were there, but that was like 10 years ago. Right. Since they went on this little World Series quiet dynasty here, they've never been considered a power hitting team. They've just been pitching. So, yeah.
All right, so we're going to take our first quick break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, and then we're going to move in to talk about some of MLB's top prospects and how they're doing in the minors. So we'll be right back here. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. Alongside Jeremiah, I am Ben. We're going to move into our next segment here, talking about some of MLB's best minor league prospects, guys that are really the future of their teams. Jeremiah, you have a list of about 5 names.
Yeah, I didn't put guys like Joey Gallo, Julio Urias.
So you're talking about guys who haven't gone up already?
Yes, guys that have not touched a major league field. Or
I feel like that's probably more interesting because you have guys that really haven't gotten that breakthrough yet that could.
But a couple of these guys I have on this list, I think are probably going to make. Some of them are going to make a debut in the second half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously, depending on injuries, some of them might get called up that weren't planning on it. So
yeah.
So who do you have leading off here?
Okay, in I'm gonna actually do an order from best pros from None of these guys are bad. I'm just saying.
Your top five, number
top
1 to 5.
Yeah, 5 to 1, actually.
Oh, you're going to do reverse order? Okay.
Yes,
so leading up to the final. So
okay,
who you have at 5?
Okay, number 5, I had Dansby Swanson, shortstop in the Braves organization. He's in AAA right now. The 22-year-old has been hitting. He hit 6 home runs, 39 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. He has an OPS of 813. 39 walks with 58 strikeouts. So his plate discipline has been a little bit pretty good since being drafted last year.
Yeah, he's currently on the AAA team. He played some AA ball with the Mississippi Braves earlier, but then he got called up to AAA. He's hitting 333 in AAA. So
yeah, he's in a 285 batting average overall this year. I think he's going to be a second half call up because the Braves,
they need that help.
They need that help, and they're not in contention, so they want to know what they have in this guy.
The one thing that I think he'll probably will get called up as well. It's such a young age too. He's only 22 years old, but I think he could really get called up because the Braves need a way to try and sell tickets.
Yeah,
they're really they have one of the worst home records in baseball. I think it's the worst worst home record in baseball. Sorry, so they have that not playing to their advantage. They need maybe Dansby Swanson can sort of come up and he's like our next best player. Like maybe people want to go out and see him. So
yeah. And then number 4, I got David Dahl, Rockies outfielder prospect, pretty much lining up in AAA. Also has spent some time in AA as well. He's also a 22-year-old kid, hitting 296 overall this year, 15 home runs, 16 stolen bases, 909 OPS. He does walk. He does have 41 walks, but he does strike out a lot as well. He has 85 and 314 plate pinches. But I see him as a second half call-up if the Rockies decide to trade Carlos Gonzalez this year. That's the only
he's
way.
Been rumored to maybe be on the move.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see Dahl come up this year. And he's been injured. Dahl has been injured a couple times. He missed some time in 2013, even last year as well. But he's having one great season in the minors. And if he doesn't come up this year, he's definitely going to be in the majors next year. Definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely. I feel like he can fit in that Carlos Gonzalez role really well because he does have that power behind him.
He's in Coors Field also.
Right, so the ball would carry more with the atmosphere there. So
okay, at number 3, I got Alex Reyes, who has been who just came back from a 50-game suspension for a drug suspension for marijuana. He ever since he came back, he's only had a 2-1 record, 4.35 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. He does have 61 strikeouts and 41 in the third innings, but he has had some control problems with 20 walks. So he's kind of similar to Tyler Glasnow, the pitcher
of the Pirates.
Of the Pirates, yeah. He's only 21 years old. I can't see him as a second half call up, with the Cardinals trying to pursue a playoff berth. But if Reyes doesn't come up this year, then I see him as a potential
guy for the start of next season, maybe?
Yeah, start of next season.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's still young. So
yeah, you mentioned he's still young. He hasn't even turned 22 yet. He's still going into his 22nd year.
I think if he didn't have that 50-game suspension, I think he probably maybe would have been in the majors right now. But
still young, sort of maybe a little immature. Did a bad decision there with the marijuana. Got a drug suspension of 50 games, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
Almost little under a third of the season. So.
And the Cardinals are they develop their players very good, especially the pitchers too over the years. So
people like Michael Walker, Adam Wainwright come to mind. So what do you have next?
And Carlos Martinez. You can't forget about him.
Right.
Okay. But next I have Yoan Moncada, who is the top prospect in the Red Sox organization right now.
Yeah, second baseman.
Yeah, second baseman. He's only 21 years old, so he's hitting .312, 9 home runs, 40 stolen bases across single A and double A. 947 OPS, 48 walks. He has struck out 80 times. He was a Futures Game MVP this past weekend. They have that Futures All-Star
like the minor league All-Star game.
Yeah, that minor league All-Star game. And his teammate, actually, Andrew Benintendi, I hope I'm saying that right, is the more likely call-up this year. I see Moncada I see him going up to the minors in the second half of next year.
Yeah. He's in that second base role. The Red Sox looking pretty good with Dustin Pedroia, so he's definitely a one for the future, not really a one for the right now. But he's still such a young age, only 21 years old. Yeah,
he's to me, he's a top 5 prospect in all of baseball right now. So to me, that is. And my top minor league prospect right now is Alex Bregman.
Drum roll.
Is Alex Bregman from the Astros. He's a shortstop. He played in AA and AAA this year. He's hitting 309, 19 home runs, 60 RBIs. So he's a huge power hitter. 1.019 OPS. The thing that impresses me about this guy here is his play discipline. 44 walks against 33 strikeouts and 272 plate appearances.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that doesn't strike out very often.
Exactly, and I think he can possibly play third baseman for the Astros right now.
Really, right now?
Yeah, right now,
okay.
yeah. And then he's actually probably the one that's expected to be called up to their team this year. So, there was some talk about Bregman playing this weekend, joining the Astros, but A.J. Hinch has, he's disregard those comments, those rumors. But I wouldn't be surprised if he came up next week. The week after that, it's just a matter of time before he comes up to the majors.
It's not a matter of if, but when with Alex Bregman.
And so what this kid is doing in AAA, he's just lighting it up. I think he's majorly ready. He can, compete with the Astros right now and that lineup.
And obviously, if Bregman can develop as the Astros hope, he would be just another great infielder for them to go along with people like Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve.
Yeah. So well, he is a shortstop in the minors, but
he'll probably have to move positions because
he's going to have to most likely move at third base
because they do have rock solid players, as I just mentioned, in Altuve and Correa at second base and shortstop respectively. So he would have to move. Third baseman seems really likely. Third baseman's usually more of an athletic player.
He's been kind of okay this year, So, I can see him as the most possible position for him to play on this team right now. So
you mentioned Alex Bregman is your number one, but that's not including people who have already gotten called up. How do you think he ranks according to people like you mentioned, like Urias, Tyler Glasnow, and then you mentioned also the guy from the Rangers, Joey Gallo. So how do you think he ranks compared to those guys?
He actually got called up last year in June, and he had a pretty good week. But then, strikeouts were a huge problem for Gallo last year. That's why he got sent back down later last summer. He did get called up for a couple games, but I don't think he started. I think for Gallo because Gallo's only 22 years old. So he's the future of that franchise. But I just think Bregman is a more polished hitter than Gallo. Because the plate discipline that Bregman has compared to Gallo when he was in the AAA, it just doesn't even compare. So I think Bregman is going to transition a little bit more easier to the Major League game than Gallo did. I can't really compare him to the pitchers because it's kind of hard to compare like a hitter to a pitcher.
Right. Yeah. I was just sort of thinking on like more of like a prospect rank there. Yeah, you can't compare a hitter with a pitcher. It's the only one
I can really compare was Gallo. So, yeah.
All right, so that was our top prospects there in the minor leagues. As always, the prospects really fluctuate a lot because people get called up for like sort of replacing an injury or permanently. Guys get called down. New guys come up and really surprise. So it's always really fluctuating with the ranking system, sort of how it goes. But we always do keep it updated here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We're going to take our last break of the day. We're going to be moving into something really, really happy that I'm glad that they did the baseball. They did when they announced two legends of the game, legendary hitters of the game. They announced them as having the awards for batting crowns named after them. We're going to talk to you about who that is, as well as also Yu Darvish for the Texas Rangers. He's a pitcher getting ready to come off the disabled list and make his first start of the season. Had a lot of injury concerns. We'll talk about that, maybe preview his start, and we're going to talk about that just right after this break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, welcome back to Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. And for our last bit of news today, Major League Baseball announced earlier this week that the batting titles will be named after Tony Gwynn for the National League and Rod Carew for the American League.
Yeah, they announced that prior to Tuesday's All-Star game. I think that's great. Obviously, great hitters, great legends of the game. So Rod Carew, he was a longtime Twin. He ended up hitting... Also played with the California Angels there in his last part of his career. Ended up hitting .328 in his career. And a member of the 3,000 hit club as well as Tony Gwynn, of the longtime Padres player. So yeah.
Play with the same team for his entire career, Tony Gwynn, that is.
Yeah, you don't see that very often anymore.
Not just in baseball, but in sports in general.
Yeah, in sports in general, I can really think of just a couple names come off my head. A couple of guys that just retired in the NBA, people like Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan.
Been with their same team for the whole career.
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki. As far as baseball goes, people like Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, a couple of Yankee greats there. You don't really see that very often. Tony Gwynn even has the nickname of Mr. Padre. I mean, so that shows you what he meant to the team. It's going to be great that they announced that they did that. They always have... In every major award for sports, they have the award named after someone. Like I think of like the Larry O'Brien Trophy for the NBA, the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the NFL, the winner of the Super Bowl. So it's good that baseball is doing this now. For two guys, I think they really deserve it.
Yeah, because Gwynn won 8 batting titles in his career, and Carew won 7. So it is appropriately fitted for these two guys to be named after these, awards.
Right, and it's great for them. So we'll have to see who wins the inaugural Rod Carew batting title and the inaugural Tony Gwynn batting title for both respective leagues. We'll always update you here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast as well.
Yes, and then now for last little bit of news today, Yu Darvish is going to make his return to Texas Rangers this Saturday, and when they take on the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, it's not going to get really easy for Darvish coming off the DL. I had earlier mentioned he was making his first start of the season, and that's not actually true. I messed up there.
I fact-checked you, man.
Yeah, he'd been gone for so long. It seemed like
he is making his first start.
Yeah, because he's been gone for so long. But he is having sort of a good season before he went to the disabled list. Yeah, he was 2-0 with the ERA of 2.87.
Yeah, even before he left the start against the Houston Astros on June 8th. After being placed on the disabled list the day after. So, yeah.
Yes, and I mentioned it doesn't get really easy for Darvish. He's having to go against the Cubs, a team that sort of struggled into the break. I feel like a team that definitely benefited most from the All-Star break is probably going to be the Cubs. They can sort of regroup there.
Yeah, they got a lot of players coming back from injury as well, too, like Dexter Fowler, Jake Arrieta,
and Darvish is gonna be going up against Jason Hamill, who's currently 7-5 with the ERA of 3.46 for the Cubs coming out of the All-Star break. That game is going to be on Saturday, so the series starts on Friday. It's going to be the second game of the series, and it's a matinee game, so it's going to be earlier during the day. It's at 2:20 Eastern time.
Yeah, and then don't forget Darvish did miss the entire 2015 season because of Tommy John surgery, so he's been battling injuries these past couple of years after being so dominant when he came into the league.
Yeah, from Asia.
Yeah, from Japan. Yeah.
So, what are your predictions for Darvish's sort of game here? He's a guy who's really known for the strikeout. Do you think he can really stay healthy though? That's my concern with Yu Darvish.
That's my only concern with Yu Darvish right now. Yeah, right now, because after he had that nagging injury and the start against the Houston Astros in June, he had his bullpen cut short because of the symptoms he had, the tightness in his neck and the tightness in the shoulder a couple days later after that. And so they skipped his next start, and he was put on a 15-day DL, after that. And so when he had an MRI, he on his shoulder and neck, it showed no structural issues as of right now, and he has made 2 rehab starts for in AA. So my only concern for him is basically
health.
His health, yeah.
Think about how much he would mean to the Rangers, a team that really one of the lead favorites in the AL. If they can add Darvish to that team, because they really haven't had him for quite some time now. If they could add Darvish to that team, how big would that be for Texas Rangers?
It makes that team a whole lot better too, especially with Cole Hamels the way he's pitched this season. Having Darvish be that number 2 guy in our rotation, even when they get Colby Lewis back,
he's on the deal as well.
Later this summer, they'll be in the best shape of the season right there. They're getting 2 of their best pitchers back. Because Colby Lewis is on pace for his best year of his career before he got hurt. Darvish, he can pitch really good.
Yeah, he's proven that he can be.
He can be an ace.
He's proven he can be a dominant pitcher in baseball. It's just as we mentioned.
He was basically their ace before Cole Hamels came to Texas. So yeah.
It's just as we mentioned. It's the injuries that have always been the problem with Darvish. So we'll have to see how he can do as he comes back, making his first start in over a month now against the Cubs. Always will keep you updated here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast on how he does. And hopefully we don't mention this, but if he gets injured.
Yeah, hopefully it's a more lengthy return this time. Because when Darvish came into the league, he was probably one of the most fun pitchers to watch when he came in. He's just absolutely strikeout machine. And if he can just pitch half as good, it's a big boost to the Texas Rangers team. So.
Yeah, so we have some more series getting started off here after the All-Star break. A couple that really stick out to me. We have a Boston, New York.
Yes, we do.
We have a Boston Red Sox, New York series. Those are always great between those two. Really, probably the biggest rivalry in baseball, I'd say, along with the Dodgers and the Giants. Some other ones that really stick out to me are Miami and St. Louis. Both those teams really fighting for a wild card spot, so I think that's going to be a big series as well.
Yeah, and we got the Washington Nationals and Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pirates are two teams, yeah.
Yeah, 2 Pirates are fighting for wild card berth.
Yeah, the Nationals first in the NL East.
That's a big game for both teams. Man, can't wait till the end of the season. All these meaningful games.
We're still only at the halfway mark, just starting off the second half of the season after the All-Star break here. So we haven't even touched on the last part of the season yet. But
we have not. But it's going to get exciting.
It always is going to be exciting. So we will always keep you updated here at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. But, Jeremiah, this is going to be it for us today.
Good.
I don't ever want to leave.
I am tired. I'm kidding.
I don't ever want to leave.
No, I'm kidding. No, okay. Yeah, it's I can't wait till this weekend, man. I have the weekend off. It is going to be exciting.
That's good. Any plans?
It's actually my birthday on Sunday. Yes.
Oh, well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
You have any plans? What are you going to do?
Not yet. But if I do, I might talk about it next week.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, well, yeah, we can maybe do a quick segment if you decide to do anything fun and interesting, as well as update everybody on the world of baseball, because we'll have games going back on again next time we meet.
So we're actually going to have things to talk about now. We don't have to scramble up things off the floor.
Yeah, it's a lot harder at the All-Star break because games aren't going on, so we can sort of just preview, talk about some of the best teams of the first half, but that's what we did. So, Jeremiah, why don't you tell everyone where they can hear the podcast at?
You can hear it anywhere. I'm kidding. No, you can find us for new episodes each week on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, YouTube. Every week. Yeah. We have 2 episodes every week. They're going to come out Thursday and Friday, but as of this week now, that's the set schedule. You can also follow us at GSMC _baseball on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook. You can go on, like us at Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. You can go on GSMCpodcast.com for this show and all our other shows in the network.
Yeah, that's our homepage here at the network. Yes. There's so many great shows, sports related and non-sports related. There's also a tab for shows coming soon, hopefully starting end of this year, early next year. A lot that I'm looking forward to.
There's some I'm looking
forward to. Some I'd even want to be a part of, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. There's a
couple I want to be a part of too, but whatever.
Yeah, so this is going to conclude this episode at the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Jeremiah.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you, if you are listening somehow on iTunes, please leave a rating, leave a comment. We'd really appreciate that. YouTube, leave a like, leave a comment. check out any other way you can listen to us.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate it. It's free, man. It's free. There's no
free $99.
Free $99. I like that. Yeah. Yes, I need a shirt that says that now.
Well, you can probably find it somewhere. I don't know.
For 99 cents. I'm kidding.
All right. Well, this is going to conclude it. We hope you enjoyed the episode, guys, and we hope you have a good day. Goodbye.